Hello friends and welcome back. This video has honestly been a very long time coming. I really didn't film a whole lot at last year's ACB convention. I did a hotel room tour at the Renaissance Schaumburg, which is a Marriott property, and I got a few clips here and there on my phone. So I want to talk about some of that today. Better late than never, I guess, considering at the time of me filming this, the ACB convention for this year is in a couple of months. By the time this video comes out, it will be even closer. So, I went by myself. I got a king room at the hotel, something I did not do this year because at the hotel this year in Jacksonville, getting a king room is an extra $10 a night, which adds up because I'm going to be there for the whole convention. I did stay for the whole time. I signed up for a lot of things and I had a lot of fun. It was the first time I had ever gone to a convention completely by myself alone. Every other time I had gone, I knew most of the people who were going to be there, like in terms of my group of friends and stuff, but I was going solo. Ankar did not come with me. I didn't know a whole lot of people who were going to be there. I think I knew like 2 or 3 people who for sure were gonna be there. Beyond that, I was kind of on my own. And I was very happy that I made a bunch of friends very quickly. And so we ended up all just kind of doing stuff together throughout the week, hanging out. We didn't end up going to a lot of the same sessions because you do have to register in advance, but this year I think it's going to be different. Without further ado, I want to show my room tour and then we will come back and chat about a few things. Okay, hello, I am in my hotel room here in Schaumburg at the Renaissance, and by the time you see this I won't be here anymore. So let's do a room tour. So we start here at the door. I got a king room, but to the left we have the bathroom. They have double doors that like latch kind of weirdly. It might have been a me issue trying to get them shut. I'm just not used to it, but this absolutely terrified me. Okay, so I turned on this light for the vanity and might take a minute. The screen, there we go. It's a smart mirror, and so keep moving the camera, hi. So the screen embedded in the wall started talking. It's a TV. It scared the hell out of me. I didn't know what the heck was happening. I don't know how to make it stop. I think it only happens when I turn that light on. I'm gonna have to ask the front desk. Editing me here. In case you were wondering, I did not ask the front desk. Anyway, let me turn it back on so you can get a better look here at everything. So we have the lighted magnifying makeup mirror, tissues, some amenities. Oh, there's a remote for that. Oh goody. How do I shut the, is this the red button is power? We figured something out, guys. Face cloth, amenities, shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, whatever, hand soap, and then we have, what is this? More soap, face cloths, towels. The only thing is there's no line to hang a bathing suit, but I guess you could just do that on the curtain rod up here. This is a shower tub combo. I really like the tiling here. It feels like it's like vinyl or something, but it looks really cool. Oh, there's also, you know what? Oh, good. They do have a hair dryer. My hair dryer died right before I came here. I've had it for like 12 years and it died. So I'm glad that they have a hair dryer here I can use. I know hotels generally do, but sometimes I've been in ones that do not. You have extra towels, extra toilet paper, extra tissues, trash. When you first come in, there's also this like alcove right here for the door. It's kind of weird and kind of sudden. This is the closet. I haven't been into it yet. But we do have a full-length mirror. Luggage rack. An iron, some hangers, a bunch of hangers actually. Nice, oh, this is not a shelf? Oh, there's slats. Okay, so then I'm not gonna put anything up there probably. Ironing board. Let me shut that. I'm glad that there's a full-length mirror. This is where I just stashed all my luggage for now. We have some drawers. Oh, okay, well it looked like drawers. This is actually a cabinet with the safe. And is this a mini fridge or a beverage cooler? I don't know, but we got one of those. Oh my god. This was kind of hard to open initially. There's like a drawer beneath it. I don't know if that actually opens. There are like 2 glass cabinet doors here, like a double door thing, and it opens up and slides out the coffee maker, which is actually, I believe, yeah, it is. It's plugged in back there along with whatever else is plugged into that outlet. So we have, you know, ice bucket, some cups, We have the coffee maker. Oh, okay. I was looking to see if there were coffee cups. There are, and there are lids, because I once went to a hotel where there wasn't lids, and I spilled coffee all over me going into a conference room, and it was an awful experience. I think this is an espresso machine. I don't really know. Can't really see. I don't really care. We're gonna slide that back in and see if I can close these. Oh, well, they're hard to open because I didn't know how to open them properly. You just push in and out and whatever. We have this drawer down here. We have another set of 3 drawers. Trash and recycling under the desk, my backpack. This desk chair, which seems pretty comfortable, I think. I haven't actually sat in it. We have a shallow drawer pull out here. A little like tray. What is in here actually? I'm so blind. Something with cables. I don't really know what the heck is going on. Can't really read. A lamp, my water bottle. What is this? Oh, a speaker. Okay, cool. Oh, we have a nice speaker system here. I'm gonna have to figure out what the hell that other thing is because I can't read. We have some very minimalist art on the wall of a bow tie and some buttons and a skyline. I'm imagining it might be Chicago because we're like in Illinois. And also this cool like wraparound tropical looking thing on the wall here, which reminds me of the print that they have going along the front desk. So because I got a king room, I do have an end table on either side. Somebody like destroyed the clock. I don't know how to set it. I don't really care. I'm just gonna use my phone for the alarm. The lamps are great because they have 2 actual plugs and a USB each on either side. They're USB-A, so that's great. And the other end table is the same exact thing. You can see that I have my phone charging here. There's also a landline phone, or you can call room service, front desk, whatever. Notepad and pen. A floor lamp that's taller than I am. The temperature control, and a couch with some pillows, and this little table that was very difficult for me to move. It's been here, I can't move it, I'm gonna leave it here. The view isn't anything, I'll show you. It's kind of awkward to get around and maneuver, but there's not really much to see. I'm just looking out at like gravel and I think a skylight. I don't know what exactly that is right there. I think it's just the roof. I have no idea. Illinois is dealing with some bad smoke from the wildfires in Canada, so everything is really hazy right now. But that is my room overview. I'm glad I found the remote for that TV. I'm gonna wait for my phone to charge a little bit and then go downstairs and get something to eat. It is about 2 o'clock. Central time now. I'm hungry. I haven't really eaten real food since, I don't know, when was it? Like 6 a.m. this morning Eastern. So we gotta go get some nourishment. Upon closer inspection, this box that's plugged into the wall on the desk is actually a charging dock. It has like literally every cable that you can like imagine. It's amazing. I've never seen anything like this at a hotel before. And then we have this giant Bluetooth speaker. I don't even know if that's Bluetooth. It's a speaker. So fun fact about my room is that unfortunately the following morning, the shower flooded my whole bathroom. Don't know how that happened. However, huge props to the hotel because they were fantastic. I went to the desk. I talked to the woman at the desk. Explained the situation in a very calm manner because I was kind of panicking. I wanted to move rooms anyway because what had happened was I requested a room on a high floor. When I got there, usually I always have good luck about my room being ready when I get to a hotel. However, I got there, there were no rooms available on a high floor. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll take the other room that they had available. It was a king, it was fine. I want to clarify that there were actually rooms available, but when I got to the hotel and checked in, they didn't have a king room that had been serviced yet. So I took what they had because I was tired. It was in their atrium level, so the 3rd to the 6th floors of the hotel were rooms that faced the lobby, like there were no enclosed hallways. The whole entire lobby was open, it was a big atrium space. That night, I personally didn't sleep a whole lot because I kept hearing yelling from the lobby area, and I'm kind of a light sleeper. I even have my white noise thing on my iPad, so I don't know, that was probably just a me problem. But anyway, I did end up moving to a higher floor because of the whole situation with the flood. And they did my laundry for me for free, which was great because I did have some clothes on the floor that became soaked from the shower flooding. What happened was I went to the desk, I walked back to my room. I hadn't really unpacked from the night before because I was planning to ask them to move to a higher floor anyway. I went back to my room, which took all of maybe 2 minutes from the desk to go back to my room. When I got there, maintenance, housekeeping, and engineering were all standing in front of my room, like waiting for me. Then a bellhop showed up literally 2 minutes later with a bell cart, which was so convenient. I asked him to wait 5 minutes while I finished packing all my crap and just making sure I had everything. He did. I went to my new room. everything was fine. And I got my laundry back like 3 hours later, which was great. So I don't know, I mean, the Renaissance Schomburg was good to me, but also you have to be good to them. You know what I mean? Like, you need to treat people the way that you want to be treated, and I definitely did that with the front desk people, and because of that, I feel like that my whole situation that happened, while it could have been really awful, ended up turning out pretty well. The following day, we went to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. I got in that Wednesday. Convention starts the Friday of the week that I was there. Thursday is when majority of people get there and they pick up their registration stuff and blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to be dealing with the chaos of the front desk and all of that on Thursday, and I wanted an extra day to acclimate myself to the hotel and to the area. I also did a DoorDash order with Aldi. I had somebody deliver like a case of water and some grocery type stuff, like some fruit and granola bars and things like that I had in the room for the week as snacks, which was good. And then Friday was when the fun started. So we went to the Museum of Science and Industry. We were split into groups. How tours usually work is you are split into a group with whoever you're sitting with on the bus, generally, unless you tell one of the tour volunteers from ACB that you want to be with a specific person. In that case, they'll put you in a group together. I was friends with a woman who I met a few years ago at convention. She lives in the Midwest. We were both going on this tour. We knew it, so we sat next to each other on the bus, and I was in a group with her and a couple of other people. Her husband was also there. He's sighted. He was volunteering. I think he was either volunteering on that tour or he was at something else that was happening later that day. I can't quite remember. It ended up working out really well. The tour guide that my group had was great. She was actually the event coordinator for the museum. I thought she was fantastic. We saw a lot of different things. I'll put in some clips right here. We saw some wearable fashion tech stuff, wearable tech in fashion, things that like lit up, and face masks and dresses and coats and things that lit up. It was pretty neat. We saw the inner workings of a steam engine. We got to go inside of a Boeing 727, which was a United plane. I thought that was really neat. Unfortunately, a friend of mine who was in another group said that her tour guide was awful. He was not describing anything. She just didn't have a good time because of it, which is understandable because we're all blind and visually impaired. I'm what's considered a high partial, which means I can see pretty well comparatively, but a lot of other people who can't see, obviously you would want to describe things to them like what you're passing by and what is happening so they can get the full enjoyment. We had lunch at the museum in one of their function rooms. The museum does have a food court, but because we did the whole tour with the convention, we had to choose a lunch. It was prepackaged. It was like a bagged lunch. There were like wraps or sandwiches or whatever that you could get, and it came with chips and stuff. I remember I got a veggie wrap. I thought it was the blandest thing I'd ever had in my entire life. I realized later on that I think it came with a dressing that you could put on it. The afternoon, we saw quite a few other things. They have a Tesla coil. I will put that clip in right here where you can hear it.
Tesla came here to this building in 1893 to unveil the Tesla coil. He showed people that not only was effective, but it was safe. 2, 1. So what we saw was about 4 shoots of lightning from the center to the bounding
so
race.
cool.
It will go again in about 6 seconds.
That's great.
So it ramps up 480 volts to 1.5 million volts of electricity. And I will tell you, it's a failure. It was a failure. First and foremost, it's ineffective. If you stand under that Tesla coil, and we do, and hold a light bulb, it will light up that light bulb sort of while it flickers, kind of for a moment. 1.5 million volts of electricity, and it can light up 1 light bulb.
Wow.
Also, that noise, it has to do that the entire time it detonates. So let's say you're powering your home with a Tesla coil. Right. Want to have a light on, you want to listen to the radio, you're going to be hearing, you're going to be enjoying the sound of those static channels breaking from the bounding rings.
And they also had a wind tunnel. It was like a storm tunnel, like a tornado in a jar, kind of, sort of. I don't really know how to describe it, but we got to go in there because the person that we were with obviously worked from the museum, so her pass let her do whatever she wanted. So she let my group inside of the wind tunnel, and it was really neat. I did not film anything when we were in there. It felt very humid because it was all of like this air moving around and stuff. It felt damp. I thought it was really cool, but there wasn't anything to see on camera when you were in the tunnel. Plus there were a bunch of kids at the controls and they were mad at us because we got to go in there and they didn't, and because of that they were not making the wind go as fast as it could, which really sucked. In the morning when we first got there, we went to their Pompeii exhibit that had a bunch of sculptures and things, people that were cast in stone, kind of, sort of. There was also a little mini movie that they had playing for us, a presentation on Pompeii and the explosion and everything that happened, the eruption. It was really upsetting because, you know, of everything that they went through, but I thought that was really cool. I found out later on that it was an extra charge to get into that exhibit, so I'm glad that our ticket included that, because typically what they will do sometimes with these museum tours for ACB is they will buy the base ticket and a couple of add-ons to kind of pad for time. We also, of course, got to go into the gift shop. I got the little cloud guy that I showed you guys on my bookcase in my home office tour video, and I got a plain keychain for Onkar. It's like silver. It's the 727. I was just gonna say I couldn't remember if I got anything else, but I got a t-shirt and it looked like one of the t-shirts that their museum employees wear. So mine that I got is like a blue-gray color and it says MSI, Museum of Science and Industry, in white, which is like their logo. I like to have t-shirts like that to either wear throughout the day or to just like have as a sleep shirt because sometimes they're big on me. I think that's all that I did that day. I can't quite remember, but I did a few other things throughout the week as well, other tours. There was an origami session at the convention which I found really cool. One of the tours I wasn't a huge fan of was at the Chicago History Museum, and it wasn't the museum itself. It was just very unfortunate because I don't think the museum people wanted us to be there. They were kind of acting like they would rather not be there themselves, and they weren't super pleasant when speaking to them, and they kind of were rushing through their little dialogue that they were giving on each of the 4 exhibits that we went to, because we did kind of a pre-planned rotational thing. I just felt kind of sad because of the way that we were treated, in terms of like, it really felt like the vibes were they didn't want us there. Another thing I went to that I really liked was the Museum of Mexican Art. There were things in there that we could go up to and look at, as well as some things that they brought out for us to touch, like paper mache type things. I think there was a dragon or something that we touched. I didn't get video of every single thing. However, one of the things we did on the tour was we took a walk outside and saw some of the murals that are on the walls around that area. Our docent was really great. He actually was reading from a paper the whole time that he was talking, and he did a really great job at describing how everything looked. That tour also included lunch beforehand that was catered by a local Mexican restaurant, which was really nice. I remember really enjoying it. It was a lot of food. It was very filling. Then we walked around inside the museum, and then we went outside. And what was cool about that was the museum was actually closed that day to the public, so I guess they must have just been open for our tour. I had a great time. I got a nice little tote bag from their gift shop, partially because when we got there, we were told, I think, that we couldn't bring backpacks in. And this happened with a lot of tours. We would just kind of show up and the ACB volunteer would tell us we had to leave our backpacks on the bus, which pissed me off because if there had been more communication between the venue and ACB, I would have liked to have known that ahead of time, because then I could have just brought my purse instead of my backpack. I know that there was a friend of mine who was there who has a health condition where they need to constantly hydrate themselves. They were able to bring in water because of that, but the rest of us were not able to bring in a backpack or anything backpack sized, like no like giant bags, which I understand, and that's fine, but I just wish that that had been communicated to us prior to arriving at the venue. Anyway, I got the little tote bag. I put my phone and my little card holder and whatever the heck in there. That was nice, and I liked it because it had a little toggle to close it. It wasn't zip up, it was canvas in terms of the quality. It did have the museum logo on it. I thought that tour was really good. I'm going to put in some clips right here of our experience at it, both inside and outside, listening to the guide.
I'm not an artist. I don't practice artist. What I do here is mostly talk about artwork and analyze it, mostly with students and school groups, right? But I dabbled a little bit of printmaking, mostly because I enjoy the process of printmaking, right? Like there's a process of not just creating, but then transferring and working with different materials. And one of the reasons why I really love prints is because they're really accessible. So like, it's not expensive to create prints, right? Like you can use so many different materials. And also, prints are a really cool way of sending out like a deeper message, because you can create multiple copies of a print. You can't do that with the paint, right? As I'm speaking out loud and I'm thinking about the murals here in the neighborhood, I think that was one of the big reasons why artists wanted to paint, right? Like it's a way to beautify your space. He uses his own body to paint the experience of crossing the border. The desert is one thing people must cross to get to here, while the river is the other part. So the river is represented in this case by his lower half of his body, which are his jeans in blue. And the reason why he's tied down with barbed wire is because this is an inspiration from Gulliver's Travel. Gulliver's Travel, the story where this person who is depicted as a giant, right, crashes his ship on this island, and then he's encountered by people that are described by the author as tiny people. Back in 1993, way back in 93, there was a group of graffiti artists who worked on a piece that was attributed to La Virgen de Guadalupe, the Mother of God, or the manifestation of Mary as a Latino Mexicano version of Mary.
Another thing that I did that I always do every year, generally they will have a tour to a candy shop where we will usually learn like about the process of making the chocolate and the candies that they make. If you recall in the video from 2019 when we went to Laughing Gull Chocolates in New York, we made our own truffles and we learned about the process of that, and that was really cool. The one that we went to last year had all of these giant sculptures made out of chocolate. There was a Santa Claus one. There was, I think, a US flag with the eagle next to it or something. It was really cool. We also got to see inside where they were making the chocolate, like view through the window, the process of all of their candy making. We could not film that. That was not allowed. We were also shown a video that talked about the cocoa beans and how chocolate comes from cocoa beans. And of course we bought chocolate because that was the whole point, was going to buy candy. And I got quite a bit of candy. As you guys know, I have a big sweet tooth. I love chocolate, particularly milk chocolate, and I had a good time. Another thing that I really enjoyed doing was we went on a riverboat cruise on the final night of convention. We left from one of the piers. The food was really good. It was a sit-down dinner. We did have to choose our meals ahead of time, as you typically do when you register for convention. Anything that you go to that has meal options, you have to choose your meal when you register so they can get a head count. The only thing was I was freezing on this ship, but that was because, unbeknownst to me, I was coming down with the flu. Another thing that I remember doing that I really liked before the dinner cruise though, this was earlier that day, we went to, I can't remember for the life of me what the name of this place was, but it was all of this old music in these old music boxes, and we got to listen to some of these music boxes go. And they had a really old carousel there with all of the horses on it that they did play for us, so we got to hear the music and feel like the speed of it. The only thing that bothered me, so I believe we were given gloves from the beginning to touch some of the older instruments and things. I don't understand why they didn't let us put those gloves back on and touch the horses at the carousel. Like, for me, I could see it, but for the average blind person, they could not, and it just feel like that took away from a lot of the experience because they were just kind of standing there listening to the music and feeling the force of the thing as it spun around. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Overall, I had a really good time at convention. I always like going to the exhibit hall and seeing all of the exhibitors. A lot of them are from assistive technology companies such as Humanware, but there are some individual small business people there. I am definitely going to be showcasing more of that stuff this year. I already registered for convention when I am filming this. Actually, convention registration opened this morning. Today is May 13th when I'm filming this. I registered We're all good. Room is booked. Flight is booked. We're going to Jacksonville in the middle of July, and I'm going to be incredibly hot, and it's going to suck. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in the next one. Bye.